One.
What's going on YouTube? Codey here speaking today, and today I present to you a deck profile video. I recently did a 1K tournament with this deck, and I want to show to you what I won the event with. It is Eldlich, Zoodiac, Dogma. Yeah, it's a lot going on here. So, 3 Ash Blossoms. My build is kind of heavy on the hand traps, not too heavy. 3 Ashes, 3 Skullmeisters, and double DD Crow. That's 8 hand traps. I picked Ash Blossom for this current format because Ash is like a staple hand trap, in my opinion. Like, it's one of those you just always have to play in every format. So I threw in 3 Ashes. I threw in the Skullmeisters because I still believe in this current format, enough decks are graveyard reliant. And this card isn't just for monster effects, it's for any card that activates in grave, so it's really good, especially in the mirror match. It stops invoked from recycling the invocation for a turn. I'm playing double DD Crow. Also, it's really good against the Dino matchup. This stops the baby. This gets rid of the miscellaneous. So after they activate miscellaneous, once that resolves, if you Crow them, they cannot activate a second one. So that kind of just turns off the play. Like they have to figure out a way to dump miscellaneous to graveyard without using the effect of the Scar, because that already happened and resolved. So yeah, this is my current lineup of hand traps. Playing double Golden Boy, as I said in previous video, 2 is good enough. If you're not playing pure, you generally run 2. You can side a third one as an optional flex spot for like the mirror matches and stuff. But in this current format, I don't think this deck is popular enough to, you know, just to validate playing 3. This is my Zoodiac lineup. I have 1 Ram, 1 Whiptail, 1 Rapier, 1 Bunny Blast, and double Thoroughblade. So I play Bunny Blast because it allows you to add back a Zoodiac card from your graveyard when it gets destroyed by card effects. Sometimes I do this intentionally. I'll pop it just so I can add back the barrage that's in my graveyard, just to keep going. Or I could just add back another monster that's in there. Rapier's the name. Whiptail, you know, it's pretty good. And Ram, it's pretty good. I play two Thoroughs over 2 Rams because, you know, certain people play 2 Rams. Is because I want to use the effect of Thorough to draw. Because in this deck, drawing is kind of important. Now, yeah, you leave yourself susceptible to getting hit with a Gamma or like a random Ogre. But I definitely think it's worth it because that draw is going to get you a card that actually does things. Because at the end of the day, you don't want multiple Zoodiac monsters in your hand in the opener. You generally rather have a trap card or a hand trap or, you know, or a Dogma card, you know, something that does something, interactions, because this deck is all about interacting with your opponent and disrupting them. I'm playing double Ecclesia. Ecclesia is one of the only cards that's monster-wise that I play in my build. My Dogma package is pretty small. I play like 6 or 7 cards in my Dogma package, only because I just want to put it in there to fit in. It does what it's supposed to do, and that's just to interrupt my opponent and gives me an additional grind game. So that's why I put the Dogma engine versus just playing more hand traps, because I think the Dogma engine will get me a lot further into the game versus just playing like another 7 hand traps, you know. And also it's just more interruption, like consistent, better interruption. 3 Cursed Elands, staple card. 1 Black Awakening, like you just have to. 3 Tinkies, staples. 1 Barrage, staple. And I play 3 Nadir Servants. Now, I know Nadir Servant allows you to add a Dogmatica card from your graveyard deck to your hand. So some people might want to play 1 Ecclesia, but me personally speaking, I felt like just seeing Ecclesia was better than like consistency, you know. Like just me having it in my hand and getting the punishment was just worth more than the possibility of potentially opening up 2, you know. 3 Conquistadors, 3 Hikaros, 3 Sanguines, and 2 punishments. I'm playing 2 punishments because honestly I want to resolve the card twice. You know, if I was playing for consistency, I'd probably just play 1, but it was more so for the grind game. So yeah, like that's why I'm playing double punishment. Extra deck, 1 Trident, 1 Borbo, 1 Kong, double Chakanai, double Tiger Mortar. There are builds out there that play double Orbo, right? Or triple Chaka 9. But in my honest opinion, with those builds, because they're playing like pure Zoo or Zoodiac Eldlich, you know, they can afford to play as many Zoodiac monsters they want. But in this build, I'm mixing it with the Dogma engine, so I had to cut down some cards. Now, there were some times where a second board bow, you know, came up, but I just played around it, you know. I played 2 Zeus. Even if I was playing just regular Eldlich Zoo, I still wouldn't play 3 Zeuses. Maybe pure Zoo, you could get away with playing 3 Zeuses, but in this list, 2 is good enough. You know, you don't need to invest into a third one. It's not going to come up. I played 2 Teases. I'm gonna get the Tease effect off of an Dear Servant, or I'm gonna get it off of the Punishment. You know. And I play 1 Titan Clad. This is basically my entire Dogma engine for the extra deck that I'm dedicating. You know, I didn't think about playing like Novas or, you know, Makaiba. I didn't feel like playing a third Tis because like with this deck, your extra deck is really important, and I just didn't have the slots so I could afford to like get rid of, you know, other cards just to fully abuse the Dogmatica engine. I'm playing 1 Link Spider. You use this card to link off your Golden Land trap cards, or it could be like a Lost World token. Besides that, another interesting play with this card is just, you know, potentially link climbing and stuff. So like 1 Vampire Sucker and 1 BLS Soldier of Chaos. This card is really good. Like, it came up when you're playing against decks that target felt heavy on you. It's good to go into this guy and gets rid of problems that can't be targeted. Like, I'll shotgun him if I see a Dragoon. If I see the option, I'll shotgun him just so I can get rid of the Dragoon. This card comes up really often. It's really good. You specimen a monster in your opponent's graveyard and you draw from it. You draw if they specimen a zombie. So every time a zombie gets specimen in the graveyard, you draw once per turn. So potentially it's a 2 draw, right? And those 2 cards can get you places. It could be a hand trap, you know, it could be a card you're missing, you know. So this card is really good. I used to play the Earth Charmer, and if you play this, you can link off anything and make the Earth Charmer. Earth Charmer was really good, but I had to cut it for the Dogmatica package. My side deck. 3 evenly matches. This card is really important in this format because Shaddolls are just really popular. And between the Shaddol and the mirror match, this card just blows it out. 3 Judgments. Judgments is also a really good card going first. Like, you know, certain matchups, like the grind matchups, you know, in particular, or the super negate boards, you know, if you're going first, this could stop you from going against like board wipe decks. You know, any deck that can put a board wipe in, it protects you from getting board wipes. Although my deck is heavily focused on hand traps, you know, but there are scenarios where you just open a bunch of back row. So this is also really good to protect your back row. 3 Ghost Bell. This is just an additional lineup of hand traps I'm playing for certain matchups. Like if I'm going second, or even if I'm going first, sometimes it's better to throw in some hand traps versus throwing some back row, right? Because they're siding for the back row removal, but when they see there's no back row, that's dead cards in their hand. So this card in particular is really good in the mirror match. It also hurts Invoke too, because Invocation says removing a card from the graveyard, and this stops that. And there are scenarios where, you know, cards like Schism, you know, cards like Schism could get Ghost Bell too. So this negates the activation, so it goes to the graveyard too. So there are certain instances this card is really high impact, so that's why I put it on my side. Lancia, another good card. I think it's like a really stable card for like basically all formats for the side deck. Like Lancia just comes in clutch. It stops the Dragon Link matchup. It stops the Dinosaur matchup. It kind of slows down the Eldlich matchup, you know, the mirror matches and stuff, you know. It kind of slows down the Invoke decks too, you know. But yeah, this card is really good. Definitely staple. I played 2 Gamma Seals, so this card came in clutch. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if I'm going second, if I know I'm going second, I'm playing against a deck that puts out a big boss monster that it's difficult for me to out, like for example Dragoon. Gamma Seal, in my opinion, is the best card to side against decks like Goon, decks like Winda, just any deck that prevents me from creating a board and advancing the game state. So this is really good. And then I played the 1 IO, just going first against certain matchups, or even decks that are really spell reliant too. Like, because honestly, in this deck, you only lose to board wipes. So cards like Evenly Matched, Lightning Storm, Harpy Feather Duster, A well-timed Twin Twister too. Like those kind of cards hurt this deck a lot. So, you know, that's why I play cards like IO and 3 Judgments. You know, if I know I'm going first. You know. So that's my deck. In my honest opinion though, in this current format, I do think Eldlich can compete and still is a pretty good deck. I would say it's like a top 5 deck, but it's in my honest opinion, it's on the lower end of the spectrum. So if you do want to compete and want to have a good chance of succeeding, I would definitely play the Dogmatica package, because the Dogmatica package just gets you there. So if they stop your normal summon of any Zoodiac monster, or if you do get your Zoodiac monster out there and on battle phase they get rid of it, right? You can follow up by activating, you know, Nadir Servant, searching, popping, special summoning, searching out a freaking punishment, setting the punishment, and then if you set the punishment along with a bunch of back row and have some hand traps behind it, you can survive for another 2 or 3 turns until you get into a situation where you could get another Zoodiac monster and normal summoning it, or having to go and Lord beat down with a bunch of back row behind that too, or some hand traps to stop them. So it's basically the strategy right now, in my opinion, if you're going to play this type of deck, which is control, right? You want to play a control deck with multiple ways of creating interaction between your opponent and preventing them from advancing the game state where you get killed. And when this deck goes off, when it gets started up, it's very hard to stop it. It's very hard. So that's my video. I want to thank my team, plus Guyz Gaming. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. More content's on the way. We have a podcast. We do Doom Book rated videos, commentary. We do EDO Pro videos, commentary. Once in a while, we do videos on, you know, decks we think could be like a potential dark horse of format. So please stay in tune. If you like the video, hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, and answer any of your questions. And see you till next time.